Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamualaikum. So this is topic 5 or chapter 5, books of prime entry. Okay, the first book to record the business transaction. Okay, the books of prime entry. Okay, and then from the business transaction that we have made, okay, the business transaction usually are supported by the source documents. Okay, there must be a source document to support. Alright, so that's why the first subtopic under books of prime entry is the introduction to source documents. Okay, only then, okay, we are going to look into the different types of journals, followed by the different types of ledger, and then we are going to see together the recording process from source documents to journals and then posting to the ledgers. Okay, alright. At the end of this topic, okay, you should be able to identify 7 types of journal and then to prepare the subsidiary ledger. So these two are very important because why? Because we are going to assess you in your final project. Okay, on this topic, we are going to assess you, okay, in your final project. Okay, the assessment. Okay, so the assessment related to topic 5 is the final project. Okay, all right. So what is a source document? So what is a source document? So a source document is a document used to support the business transaction. Okay, for example, if you sold goods to your customer, of course you are going to issue receipt for the payment that you receive, or if it is sales on credit, meaning that we offer credit to our customer, meaning that they are not going to pay us immediately. Okay, so the document that we are going to use to support the transaction is the invoice. Okay, and then this receipt or invoice, it will serve as an evidence. Okay, because if you still remember, the enhancing qualitative characteristic of financial information is that verifiability, meaning that the transaction that we report in the financial statement, okay, must be able to be verified. Okay, meaning that we can show the evidence. Okay, if we are required to verify the information, we can show them the evidence, all right, of the transaction. Okay, and then this evidence, however, it can be in a printed form, okay, or electronic records. Okay, all right. So what are the different types of source document? Okay, however, you need to remember that not all of these source documents, okay, are to be recorded in books of accounts. Okay, some of the documents here is for the control purpose. Okay, okay, all right, or it is due, or maybe because of to make sure that for example, yeah, the quotation. Okay, for example, let's look at together the source document. Okay, so these are the source document. Okay, starting from quotation. Okay, quotation is simply a document that is prepared by the seller, okay, to the business to establish price of goods required from various suppliers. Okay, to establish price of goods. Okay, for the business, before they choose to purchase goods or any items, okay, what they need to do first is to get quotations from different suppliers. Okay, we need to get quotation. Why do we need to ask for quotation? Okay, because from the quotation that we receive from different suppliers, it allows us to make a comparison, okay, of maybe the same items but from different supplier. It could be different in terms of the price, or if we do not state the specification but only the item. Let's say, for example, I want to purchase a desk, okay, or table for classroom. Okay, so when we approach the supplier, supplier may come with their own specification of the desk which are suitable for classroom. Okay, so this is important. This is why it is important that we ask quotation first before we proceed with the purchase, so that we can have options. Okay, and then we can have the best offer, okay, from the supplier. Okay, all right. So usually in the quotation, okay, the supplier are going to state, or they are going to write down about the descriptions, okay, of the items requested, okay, details of the goods required, okay, and then the quantity, okay, the quantity of order, because sometimes there's a range of order, okay, that give you different prices. Okay, all right. And then after that, what happened is that usually there will be a committee that will decide together, okay, on which quotation give them the best offer. All right, and then when they agree, okay, on the selected supplier, only after that the business will come out with a purchase order. Okay, first you get the quotation. All right, and then after you agree on which supplier that you want to purchase from, and then you are going to ask for purchase order. Not ask for, sorry, you are going to prepare, the business are going to prepare purchase order. Okay, so this purchase order will be sent to seller as a request for supply. Okay, then we need to be clear. So as a business, we need to be clear, okay, the detail of the supplier, all right, the quantity, the description, the details of the goods required, and the price that we have agreed, okay, from the quotation that we received last time. All right, and then maybe we can also state the terms and condition of the delivery, of the payment, and etc. Okay, all right. Once the seller receive purchase order from the business, then the seller are going to issue sales order. Okay, sales order, this is where the seller record the order placed by the buyer and send. Okay, in this sales order, okay, the seller are going to record the order that they receive from the buyer and then send the sales order to store department to process the order. Okay, so the sales order is distributed internally, okay, in the seller business. All right, okay, and then once they process, okay, the sales order, okay, they are going to dispatch the goods together with the goods dispatch notes. All right, okay, or GDN. Okay, so this is provided by seller together with the goods sent to the buyer, which detail out the detail of the supplier name and address, the quantity and description of the goods dispatch. Okay, and then the business who receive the goods are going to come up with the goods received note, okay, produced by a buyer as a proof of goods received and then sent to the seller, okay, to confirm the items that they have received, the quantity that they have received, the description of the goods received, whether they are receiving the correct goods or not, and then whether the item received safely or not. Okay, all right. Okay, only after the business receive the goods, okay, from the seller, okay, then the seller are going to issue the invoice. Okay, the seller are going to issue the invoice, which detail out the name and address of the customer and supplier. Okay, details of goods, quantity, the price, value, sales tax, if any, okay, terms of credit, and etc. Okay, all right, so this is issued by supplier selling the goods or services on credit as a request for payment. So the invoice issued is treated as sales invoice. Okay, for the customer, okay, for the customer that buy the goods or services on credit, the invoice received is to be treated as purchase invoice. Okay, same invoice on behalf of the seller, that will be considered as sales invoice, but on behalf of the customer, that will be treated as purchase invoice. Okay, so seller are going to record the customer as trade receivable, while the customer are going to record the seller as trade payable. Okay, all right. If let's say, for example, okay, the goods that they have received, okay, is of wrong quantity or wrong quality or wrong specification, or maybe there's a defect, okay, or faulty to the product received. Okay, so the buyer return the goods to the seller. So when the buyer return the goods to the seller, the buyer are going to send also debit note, okay, prepared by the buyer, sent to the seller together with the goods returned to indicate that the buyer has debited its account payable. Okay, so yesterday we have discussed about the double entry or the journal entry to record the sales on credit. Okay, so what is the journal entry to record sales on credit? Okay, we are going to, okay, debit trade receivable, okay, sales on credit, yeah, debit trade receivable, and then credit sales. Okay, this is what happened in seller account. Okay, what happened in the buyer account? Okay, in the buyer account, the buyer are going to debit purchase because purchase is an expense account. Okay, and then credit trade payable because the goods are purchased on credit. Sorry, trade payable, not TRTP. Okay, trade payable. Okay, so this is buyer. Okay, so when the buyer return the goods to the seller, okay, so what happened is, okay, this is in buyer's account. Okay, when the buyer purchase, okay, buyer debit purchase credit trade payable. So let me open account for trade payable. So here we have purchase. Okay, you credit, okay, credit trade payable. So in trade payable account, you are going to credit. Okay, and then we have account purchase. Okay, all right, in account purchase, then we record here trade payable. Okay, when the buyer return, okay, when the buyer return, okay, the buyer also sent to the seller debit note together with the goods. Okay, so what happened here is, okay, buyer are going to reduce its liability account, which is the trade payable. Okay, so how to reduce this one? What would be the journal entry? Okay, to the buyer are going to record this way: debit, okay, to reduce the liability, debit trade payable, credit, and then to reduce the expense, okay, credit purchase return. Okay, I already explained to you this one about the purchase return. So debit for the second transaction, okay, when there's a return, so you are going to the buyer, yeah. Okay, let me note here. This is buyer record. So buyer are going to debit. This is why the document is called debit note, because you debit trade payable here. On the debit side of trade payable account, you are going to debit with purchase return. Okay, meaning that you need to open another account called purchase return. Okay, okay, trade payable. All right, you credit purchase return here. Okay, so the reason why the name is debit note, because, okay, the buyer are going to debit its trade payable account. Okay, because they want to indicate that they already debited its account payable or trade payable account. Okay, all right, and then on the seller side, what happened is, okay, the seller are going to, okay, once they have verified the item that they received from the buyer, they are going to issue a source document called, okay, so I'm going to erase this one. So if you need to refer again, so you just go back, okay, to this explanation. All right, okay, so seller after receive the debit note, okay, seller after receive the debit note and also the goods returned by the buyer, okay, they are going to prepare a credit note and then send to the buyer to indicate that the seller has credited its account payable. Okay, because why? Because when the seller, okay, when the seller sold goods on credit, seller are going to debit trade receivable account, okay, and then credit sales. So this is what happened. Okay, the seller, okay, the seller will open a trade receivable account, okay, debit with sales, and then in sales account, okay, we have here trade receivable with X amount. Okay, when the seller receive debit note and goods from the buyer, okay, and then after the seller already verified the item, they are going to prepare a credit note, okay, and then the journal entry to record the return from the customer is, okay, debit sales return, and then credit trade receivable. Okay, so credit trade receivable here due to sales return. Okay, so that's why the name of the document is credit note. Okay, to indicate that, okay, to indicate that the seller has a credit trade receivable account. Okay, all right, and then there will be another account, sales return. Okay, so sales return is debited, meaning that on the debit side, okay, you will have your trade receivable, okay, XX to record the sales return. Okay, all right, so meaning that, okay, meaning that the recording process, okay, of this source document, okay, started from invoice, okay, while the document before that is not to be recorded in the books of account yet, okay, until the sales is, until the goods are delivered to the customer, okay, and then they receive the invoice, and then we are going to start the recording process for sales and purchase. Okay, and then remittance advice. Okay, and then we have here remittance advice. So remittance advice is to send to supplier with payment or as notification of payment. Okay, so in the remittance advice, you may mention about the method of payment, the invoice number, account number, date, and etc. Okay, it's like you sharing with the seller. Okay, when you purchase online, okay, you share with the online seller, okay, the bank slip, okay, that you download from the apps, okay, or you screenshot from the apps, okay, so that also can be considered as remittance advice. Okay, once the seller receive the remittance advice, okay, and then notify that you have made to as a notification that you have made the payment, okay, then the seller, okay, will issue receipt to indicate that payment received, okay, for various transaction. Okay, receipt it can be for many reasons. Okay, so in the receipt, okay, there's the details of the payment received. Okay, so let's say for example here, the seller received the payment. Okay, since we are talking about the seller here, okay, when the seller received the payment from the buyer and then issue the receipt, so the journal entry here is debit, bank, or cash depending on the transaction, and then credit, trade receivable. Okay, so we are going to update our account here. So here there will be bank, okay, SS. Okay, and then in bank account you are going to record on the debit side. Okay, alright, so these are examples of the source documents to support the business transaction, especially the selling and purchasing. Okay, but okay, we may also have other we may also receive, okay, source document from other transaction as well. Okay, or you may also issue receipt, okay, for any transaction that involve cash and bank. Okay, alright. Okay, so that's it for source document. So hopefully it helps you, okay, to understand better why the term is used, okay, for that document. Okay, for example, the debit note and also the credit note. Okay, next. Okay, after you identify the source document, you classify the source document, so the next step is to record. Okay, so the first record for the business transaction is in journal. Okay, it is in journal. Okay, however, you may also come across maybe a note, okay, or a lecture, okay, that may mention that journal is no longer in use. Okay, that one also may be correct if you are using the computerized system. Okay, especially if you are using computerized accounting system. But still, you need to know, you need to have the basic understanding on how to record the transaction. Sometimes we need to tell the system, okay, whether that item is to be debited or credited. Alright, and then we need to tell also the system whether that transaction is either asset or expense, or equity or income or liability. Okay, but regardless of the existence of computerized system, okay, still we need to know the process in accounting, okay, which involve the journal. So journal is considered as the first entry, okay, for the source document. Okay, so the first recording process in accounting is journalizing the business transaction into journal. In other words, the business transaction which are supported by source document are recorded in this journal. So there are basically 7 types of journal. Okay, 7 types of journal. One is the general journal, and then we have a special journal. Okay, so we have general journal, purchase journal, sales journal, return outwards journal, return inwards journal, cash receipt journal, and cash payment journal. Alternatively, some business, instead of using a separate journal for cash transaction, they can also record in cash book. But this is not in the syllabus. When you answer your final project, you have to use these 7 types of journal. Okay, so in final project, make sure that you use these 7 types of journal. Okay, please do not use cash book. Okay, next, so what are the purpose or the function of this journal? Okay, before we look at the general journal, so let's look at the special journals. Okay, for purchase journal, sales journal, return outwards, and return inwards. So these journals are used to record credit transaction. Okay, this is to record credit transaction for sales and purchases, okay, of goods for resale, untuk dijual balik. Okay, so the purchase journal, sales journal, written outward, written inwards, these journal, okay, are used for credit transaction only. If the purchase is a cash purchase, if sales is a cash sales, okay, these are to be recorded here in cash receipt journal and cash payment journal, okay, for all cash transaction. Okay, alright. So other than these 6 journals, okay, if you are not sure where to put this item, only then you are going to record in the general journal. Okay, to record the transaction which are not belong to the purchase journal, sales journal, written outward journal, written inward journal, cash receipt journal, and cash payment journal. And the general journal also is used to record the opening entry, if there's any correction of error, and also for adjustment at the end of the year. That is the purpose of general journal. Okay, alright. Next, we are going to look at the types of ledger. So the second recording process is in accounting is posting the transaction recorded in journal to the ledger. So ledger is a book, set of loose cards or files that accounts. Okay, so there are 3 types of ledger: general ledger, purchase ledger, and sales ledger. So purchase ledger and sales ledger are individual accounts for account payable and also for account receivable. Okay, if we combine, okay, these payables together or receivables together, okay, then they falls under general ledger. Okay, but that is not important right now. What's important is that you know that, okay, you have general ledger, purchase ledger, and sales ledger. But this purchase ledger is not purchase account. Okay, this is not purchase account. This ledger is not purchase account, but this ledger is referring to the account payable, individual account payable. Sales ledger, okay, similar to purchase account. This is not equal to sales account. Sales ledger is account receivable or trade receivable. Okay, sometimes I call this as trade payable, sometimes I call this one as trade receivable. Okay, you may use the short form TP or AP or TR or AR. Okay, this is acceptable. Okay, okay, again, so we are going to look at the recording process of the business transaction. Okay, this is what we call as accounting cycle or accounting process. Okay, started with the transaction, supported by the source document. Okay, supported by source document. Okay, and then once you already once you have identified, you have classified the source document into its category, okay, and then you are going to journalize the transaction in the journal. And then remember that there are 7 types of journals, including the general ledger, and then you are going to post to the ledger. There are 3 types of ledger. Okay, but under general ledger there are many ledgers. Okay, alright, and then you are going to prepare trial balance. Okay, and then for the trial balance, okay, we are going to determine whether do we need adjustment. If it is yes, then we need to go back to the journal where you are going to adjust in the general journal, and then prepare the ledger, and then we are going to update the trial balance. If the answer is no, no adjustment needed. Okay, do we need adjustment? If the answer is no, okay, then we are going to prepare financial statements. Okay, if after you adjust the trial balance, okay, there's no more adjustment needed, then we are going to prepare the financial statement. Okay, so for your syllabus, the financial statements that you are required to prepare are statement of financial position and statement of profit or loss only. Okay.